Hey GV Gang, Brandon here with another GVG discussion. This time we're talking about the cool new action RPG coming from Square Enix, The Many Adventures of Elliot, with a subtitle that I can't remember. And I'm joined by Daniel. How you doing?
Hello everyone, it's so good to see you. Welcome. These Square Enix titles, I'm surprised this isn't called like Rectangular Action RPG or something, because we just got The Adventures of Elliot, didn't we?
We got the title does make me think that maybe they called it The Adventures of Elliot because they might spin him off into his own series.
Yeah.
The Millennium Tales, that's the subtitle. Just hit me.
Oh right, that was my Tales game that we got for the Direct.
There you go. They fed Brandon some Monster Hunter, but Daniel they left waiting. You got
It's
Pac-Man
okay.
though.
We did get Pac-Man. I was super excited to see Repack 2 to show up. But that's another discussion. We're here to talk about Elliot and his little fairy friend. From my understanding, I think you've gone through. We both gone through the whole demo thus far. It's a pretty short demo, a few hours or so if you wanted to do everything. But what were you? How were you feeling just playing this demo?
I'll admit at the very beginning when it was all cutscenes and voice acting and story stuff, I was getting a little sleepy because I was just waiting for the game to start. But once you're in control and then you can leave the castle town and start playing the game proper, I was immediately like, yeah, this is a game I'm gonna play.
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
It reminds me a lot of the way I felt playing A Link to the Past for the first time, where leaving your home, essentially, once you've done that, there's a level of freedom there that's like, it tickles a part of my brain. And I felt ready to go on an adventure.
Yeah, thankfully, like, it was only not even the first 5 minutes was just the exposition, the story, and then you just kind of have your fairy friend. After that, you're just free to do whatever you want to, and it's hard to tell if at this point, like, if it's just the construction of the demo where you should pretty much just have free reign to go wherever you want. There is like a checkpoint marker to like, or a waypoint marker to kind of give you an idea where to go to proceed the demo, but you can just go wherever you want, like to the west, and just explore the grasslands, a bunch of caves, the town. I was wandering around the town, interacting with cats, making magicite. There's a lot here to honestly, and yeah, it is pretty much like anyone has played a top-down Zelda will feel immediately at home, I think, with the kind of mechanics that they allow here, the kind of items, sub-item, weapons you get to use, and overall exploration. It feels really nice so far.
Yeah, the Zelda comparisons don't stop there either, because, if you do explore enough, you will stumble upon shrines. And they are Breath of the Wild style shrines. One of the ones I did has you using Faye's like dash ability to run over platforms that will fall quickly if you're not quick enough. And then if you complete those, you get an increase to your max HP. And I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. The inspiration is clear. And those were kind of spread throughout the map. I found 2. I didn't know if there were any more.
Yeah, there was one where it was like, there was just arrows coming out of you. I think you see it in the trailer, the ones where arrows are shooting at you and you have to kind of maneuver, wave between them. One time I did it was just kind of slowly trotting forward, using my shield to parry the arrows that came, because your shield is pretty important too. You can either parry attacks. It has like a little meter that if it's all the way down, it has to be on a cooldown. But then I realized, oh, the trailer has it so that you're using Faye to just you move Faye separately with the right stick. You can move her around to an area where there's no arrows being shot and just warp up there instead. And there's multiple ways to solve these puzzles, I realize. And I am just pleasantly surprised at how much utility Faye actually has. It's not just your little companion ringing in your ear. You use her a lot during this, and to the point where it's kind of essential in some cases.
She's integral to the experience in a way that like I don't feel that about like the co-star mode in Super Mario Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can control the pointer yourself when you're playing that, and the same is true here. But I was telling you this before. I almost feel like, you know, playing in co-op would actually be a fun experience for the second player. They have a little bit more going on than some of those other kind of partner roles usually do.
Yeah, one of the things I was really having fun with was when I'm attacking an enemy, I notice Faye will kind of just jump in and just do a tiny little hit. I'm just like, it's pretty minimal. I thought it was just like, oh, she's just trying to help out and do a little, like a tiny sliver of health. But I realized there are some instances where when I hit an enemy, you can see their health bar in the back, and there's like just that tiny sliver. So I could just send her over. She'll finish it off, and also she picks up all your all the drops as well from your health, money, and I was like, wow, I'm using her a lot more than I expected I would, both for maneuvering around like with the dash, like you did in that shrine earlier, and just for combat. There's some enemies I found where they'll dig underneath and they'll burrow. And they'll try to like sneak up on you, whether it's in front of or just from a distance to throw things at you. But you can kind of follow the dirt path and maneuver Faye in that direction. So when they pop up, you can just warp to them and attack them that way. And I was like, wow, there's a surprising amount of ways you can handle a situation in combat.
The speed run's going to be 2 players, isn't it? That's going to be the
Probably.
optimal way. I really like the way that you use Faye. My first experience using her warp ability was in a cave that I had to blow up using a bomb. You know, blow the wall up using a bomb.
Never saw that before.
Wonder where they came up with that one. And there was like different elevations of cliff on the inside of this cave. And Elliot has the ability to jump. Which is a weird thing to compliment in a game like this, but it really does add a lot to the experience. You'll like jump up to a higher elevation, which will then give Faye the ability to move to a cliff on that level that you could warp to, and then you like slowly ascend in a circular fashion before getting the treasure chest, which I think in that instance was like I think it was a sword? I found a dark sword at one point.
Oh yeah, that was like one of the things where the villagers was like, if there's a cave out there that has the dusk sword and everything, and I was like, oh, I'll find that. I found that, and it like boosts your charge attack, which you can do as well. It's not a spin attack, but you like send out a sword beam, which isn't entirely not Zelda adjacent, but still. But yeah,
I like the way that combat feels in this game a lot. You know, something like a classic Zelda game, you really are, for the most part, just kind of swinging your sword around. But the enemies have a lot more going on here, and you have to be a bit more careful when you encounter them. I set the game on hard mode, just based on the way that it described itself. They're like, if you've never played an action RPG, play normal mode. And I was like, great, I'll play hard mode then.
I did the same thing.
The game hurts in hard mode. You take damage.
Take a lot of damage. Like there's some hits where you just lose 3 or something health, and I was just like, oh, there wasn't even the little red blinking warning. I just died in some cases.
And then you get the ability to like spend 100 tool to have Faye bring you back, or you can retry at like the last checkpoint. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about the dungeon itself in a bit, but the final boss of the dungeon, the main dungeon, I really struggled with at first because it's pretty long. If you haven't like augmented your abilities and rolled new Magicite back in town, you're gonna have a tough time, especially in hard mode. I had to leave the dungeon, go make some Magicite, and kind of figure out what my kit was like, then go back, and I was able to win. And I really like that. Like, the boss fight itself is still like a very traditional Legend of Zelda style boss fight. It's like a water Dodongo. It opens its mouth, it starts sucking in everything, and you have to throw a bomb in its mouth, which then opens its weak point. And I'm like, perfect. I love this kind of thing. But then I noticed my attacks were doing itty bitty tiny damage. And I said, oh, this is gonna take a while. I also went in with only one bomb and no healing items.
Oh.
With half of my HP, so like I was really on the struggle bus on my first attempt, but it was a super satisfying fight.
Yeah, that took a few tries for me as well. I noticed that it wasn't just like, oh, enemy sucks in, you throw a bomb, and then you attack. There's multiple phases to the point where there's like a slight bullet hell section with the bubbles coming at you. You have to do platforming on the lily pads to avoid the wave. There's other like little minions that come out and attack you as well. And then these phases will overlap. Like they'll keep on pouring it on you. There'll be like tornadoes now pulling your bombs in. I'm just like, wait, hold on, I can only drop one bomb. I was like caught off guard by that and I died. Yeah, the hard thing for me was the frustrating thing was when I got to the very end of the last bit of health, it literally had like one slash left to kill it, and I died after that. So I just did the restart because I didn't want to do that all over again. I throw the bomb in its mouth, and that's the thing that kills it, not even the slash. So
I noticed that when I was fighting it, and I realized that, you know, there's magicite specific to bombs, and I didn't use any magicite for my bombs, so I didn't increase their area of effect, their size, how many I could throw, anything like that. And now I'm looking at that boss fight, and I'm like, maybe I should go back and try it again and augment my bombs and see if I can just rely on the bomb damage.
Yeah, I didn't expect. I pretty much put them all to sword. That's where all my magicite went. There was like
Me too.
a really good one that I rolled because it's kind of like a mini magicite gotcha of what skills you get. But one that I had was that when you do your charge attack, it sends 2 waves instead of 1 wave forward, and that was really helpful for just like in all situations.
That'd be super strong on the Dusk Sword, especially with its extra level of charge.
Yeah, that was my main. That was pretty much the main way I was able to whittle that health down a lot faster than I think you were able to at first. But yeah, things like that, they make a huge difference. Like you have a pouch with a capacity limit. It's like your skill points basically, and you can only fill it up so much before you run out of room. And yeah, obviously stronger magicite has more of those points, and you can just, there's a lot of ways to augment your abilities. There was a really cool one that I didn't realize until after I beat the boss, and I kind of was exploring afterwards. With your bow and arrow, it's like linked arrows, and
yeah, I got that one.
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't realize what what the description meant at first, but when there's multiple enemies, you hit one, and then it'll just auto target another person. I thought that was really cool. Even like those like cacti in the field, you can hit one of those and it'll still count as a target and hit another enemy. I thought it was really cool playing with the environment like that.
Yeah, I really liked what the game had going on. And there's also the thing like where if you have a combo of enemies defeated, and the combo will go up every time you defeat an enemy. If you take damage, then it stops. But if you keep that combo going higher, it increases the amount of drops you get from enemies defeated. And I thought that was really cool. And I read online later that day that some people were comparing the game to the East series, which I've never played before. So I ended up kind of, you know, dipping my head under the water on that one and just kind of looking around and seeing what East is all about. And then someone recommended I play East Origins, and I saw it was $20 on Switch, and I was like, you know what, whatever, I'll try it. And it has a combo system. Like, every time you attack an enemy in East Origin, increases the percentage of experience points you get up to 2 times total, if you can keep the combo going. And in the combat itself, I started seeing a lot of East in The Adventures of Elliot. The Adventures of Elliot is like Ys and Zelda mixed with some other JRPG like mechanics, and they all just they like just kind of all had a baby.
That's so fun though. Like there's a lot of good in all these different series, but then when you take elements and put them together and you blend them like this, it makes something that's a completely unique experience. That's not like completely copying, just not just blatantly copying what other titles have done before. It's making something new out of it, and just taking a lot of the best of those series and just making just an adventure that I haven't really thought I would see before, especially in this art style. It's a beautiful art style like this.
I was one of the people that was starting to get a little tired of HD 2D just because there's so many games that are doing it. But it never really occurred to me that basically all of the games were turn-based RPGs. So finally having one that's an action RPG, it's just breathing fresh life into this art direction for me. Even though it doesn't really look that different than its contemporaries.
Oh yeah, it just, you look at the NPCs and there's like, those are just people worked right from Octopath or something. But I guess it's just in the moment. Like I kind of not forget, but I kind of just am immersed in the art style when I'm watching it. And I just kind of just like, oh, this is just a beautiful looking game. The lighting is crazy. Like when I have Faye flying around, the way that I took a small clip of it as well. The way that the shadows are constantly being cast the entire time. There was like a small bush of flowers and I had Faye kind of run through it. It just captures every single shadow from each individual plant as she's going through it, on the wall, on the floor. It was crazy to look at. And just that art style is something that I just have a renewed appreciation for it while playing this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The game goes for a little bit more top down than like Octopath Traveler. Octopath is more isometric, and this game is still isometric, but it seems to come a lot more top down in its camera angle to me, which I think is also a nice change of pace. There's still like that Animal Crossing kind of rolling hill effect that they're using, but it makes for a really pleasant like image.
Yeah.
Speaking of like just the art direction, one thing that kind of blew me away is going back to that boss fight. When it jumps down into frame and you see it, and then like it opens its mouth and it's like got its gaping maw. Like there were so many frames of animation in that sprite art that he almost looked 3D at times, especially when he opened his mouth. And I thought that was really impressive.
Oh man, yeah, you're right. I think I was so concerned about just not being swallowed and eaten that I need to go back and appreciate that some more. But there's a lot of animations in here that just look so smooth and just pleasant to look at. I'm particularly fond of when you're swinging around the scythe in a circle and then you just throw it and then you pull an enemy to you and you start attacking with it. It's very satisfying.
Speaking of weapons, they said there's like, 7 or 8 different weapon types in the trailer?
I think so, yeah.
I just want to know, what are the other ones? Because we've got like your quintessential Zelda items are already here. We've got your bow, your sword, your bombs, your shield, your hookshot equivalent. What else is there gonna be? Are we gonna get like some crazy boomerang? Like I want to know.
Yeah, that, and also I'm wondering like what kind of abilities would they give Faye as well? Because we have a dash, we have a warp. Like I'm sure there's other cool things that she'll be able to do. And I'm assuming that this demo is just kind of constructed in a way where we're just getting these to experiment really early on to at least get a feel for the game. There's like quiver upgrades, a bomb bag upgrades immediately. I'm just like, there's no way we can get all this, the health upgrades this early on. But
I mean, even like the Dusk Sword.
Yeah,
I was like, this is not an early game item.
Start with my measly wooden sword first, right?
It's also clear that we're starting the game already in the midst of the adventure because Elliot and Faye have already met. Elliot is already on an adventure of some kind involving these time gates, and we don't get any background about that at all. The only thing we hear about is the problem that this current kingdom is having, which is just that there's a ruin that no one's explored, which isn't really a problem, but they hire Elliot to go find out what's going on. I'm very curious about like how the story will play out, because the world map, once you've actually played around with it, it's pretty small, and that makes me wonder if each period in time is going to be its own world map rather than just one big interconnected one, which I think would be a neat approach.
Yeah, that's true. Because even in the grassland area we were in, that was pretty dense with like the ruins that we explored, little mini dungeons, the shrine equivalents. I'm wondering like what else would be there. Because yeah, you're right. Um, Seeing how it is right now, we end off the demo going into the time warp portal, whatever what it's called. So we don't get to see what's next. That's right where it cuts off. But bird just flew into my window. Okay. So, but yeah, I'm really excited to see like what scope this is going to be. Like how dense is this going to be with story, with adventuring, and all the above.
Yeah, they have certainly made a great first impression on me. I'm a day one on this game, and I didn't think that when I was watching the direct, but after playing it, I was ready. And just like their other games in past years, there's going to be a survey. They're looking for feedback about the game, and I figure we could talk about some of our grievances, because I'm sure that there's a few, and they might even be the same. Why is changing your weapon so hard?
Oh my god. So you press, I'm trying to remember, you press ZR and the shortcut wheel comes up, and then you have to kind of, I was struggling to pick the right one, and then it shows what button it goes onto. It was a bit, I'm sure you can definitely optimize a quick swap a little better than that. Because that's the same thing for getting phase ability on as well.
The way I thought it should work, and we'll get to Faye in a second, is when you hold the button down, you should use the right stick, point in the direction of the item you want, and then press the corresponding button that you want to assign it to, like an Ocarina of Time. Because the way the game has it set is currently you press the A button on the item you're pointing at, and then you have to move the cursor to the slot that you want to assign it to. That's stupid. We don't need to do that.
Yeah, if you're gonna kind of take inspiration from Zelda, do how they've done menus. They figured menus out all the way back in like Ocarina of Time, honestly. That's just like press button which item you want to use, because at first I kept confusing was my sword on Y or X.
And then when it comes to Faye, like it still holds ZR, but now you have to press ZR to tab over to her.
Yeah.
That should be just a different button. Why not make that L and R instead of ZR? And then, with phase abilities, you can only assign one at a time. There's got to be a way to let us have more than one, because I liked both abilities, and I found myself using them frequently. And having to switch between two repeatedly like that was a little annoying.
Yeah, I kind of found myself just sticking to one more often than I was swapping between the two, so it just takes more time to open the menu, go to the tab, select the ability, swap it over. If they could just pick a button to just kind of cycle through her abilities, that'd be a lot nicer too.
Yeah, for sure. Either do that, use the D-pad. I don't remember if the D-pad's even doing anything in this game.
D-pad is also Faye. So one of the things I've done was like, yeah, you can have her follow behind you. You can have her in front instead. I have her in front when I want to use warp because she's closer to where I want to go. Or you can just have her stop wherever you are instead. But I feel like, yeah, the for that, up, right, and down are commands, and then if you press left, it brings up all three so you see what they do. But you could just reassign left to just cycle through her abilities, I think, instead, and just learn what each of the other directions do.
Or you could do, you could hold it down and it brings up the wheel, and then you just hold in the direction of the ability you want.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Like, there's a couple of ways around this. I'm sure they'll address it. Like, they've been pretty responsive to these surveys in the past, and I'm glad to see them keep doing it. Yeah, it's really just kind of item management and ability management that needs some addressing. Other than that, I really don't have any complaints. The game's really good already.
I would tone Faye just a little bit down. She's quite chatty with everything.
Oh yeah, she does talk a lot, yeah. It's especially funny getting Faye right on the heels of a game like DK Bonanza, where I thought Pauline was perfect. Like they tuned that in, they dialed it in perfectly. So yeah, let's maybe address that too.
Yeah, nothing that affects gameplay, but that's just an extra thing, a character and dialogue sort of thing. But yeah, otherwise, I don't think there's anything I can really complain about other than those, which is pretty high compliments for a game with a demo that's just, it just came out, literally shadow dropped yesterday.
Yeah, we're Zelda fans, East fans, action RPG fans. You're going to be eating good with the Adventures of Elliot. So download it today. This is not an ad. I'm telling you to go download it.
Just do it. Do yourself a favor. We're the only ones so far that have played this game on the team, and we're just like, we need to talk to somebody about this right now.
Yeah, we needed to yell at someone about Elliot. But yeah, let us know if you've played it. Tell us what you think in the comments below. I think this game's going to be great, and I'm going to be there day one.
Same here. Yeah, I'm gonna be there day one. I wanna just experience this title and just, yeah. I kind of got burned out a bit with this art style with other games in the the Square Enix's HD 2D series, but doing one that's like more of an action RPG, a Zelda like, that's gonna definitely pull me back in, and I'm already on board.
Well, that'll do it for us for now. For all your Nintendo Switch 2 news, reviews, and everything in between, subscribe to GVG. But until then, keep the games good and the vibes greater. See you next time. Bye.
Till we meet again.